so this is the February 2019 forecast for Scorpio Risings. So on the 1st, there will be a Mars square to Pluto happening in your 6th and 3rd houses. And this can feel like you are an underdog fighting a really uphill battle and you're constantly being manipulated by some outside forces so that your efforts are not coming to fruition no matter how hard you try. And this is happening in areas of your life that can symbolize how your siblings or your communication or something in short distance travel is keeping you from having what you want in terms of your health or your ability to take care of yourself day to day. There's something immediate to you that's blocking progress in terms of self-care or health matters. But I wouldn't take action towards this issue until at least the 3rd, when Venus moves into Capricorn in your 3rd house and brings a bit of ease and a bit more flow to how to solve this issue that's happening for you, where you just feel like your efforts, no matter what, are being subverted. On the 4th, there is a new moon in Aquarius happening in your 4th house. And new moons are times of beginnings and planting seeds for the next 6 months in that area of life so that what we want can come to fruition. And it's happening in an area of your sky relating to home and family. Maybe that's your physical place of residence, or that's your idea family, or your blood family. It can signify a few different variations of that, but because it's conjunct Mercury, maybe think about what intentions you want to set in terms of your communication style regarding your home, your property, your family, and those kinds of things. On the 6th, Uranus will reach 29 degrees of Aries, and this is the final degree that Uranus will be in before it switches signs, so it might be bringing one final change to the area of your life relating to your 6th house of day-to-day matters, what you're obligated to do to take care of yourself. Throughout the past 7 years, it's been changing the way that you think about self-care and your health, so there's one final change happening here. On the 10th, Mercury will move into Pisces, and this will bring communication to your 5th house. So there might be increased sharing of ideas relating to children, creativity, romance, fun 5th house things, maybe more of a topic to discuss. On the 12th, Mars will conjunct Uranus and Aries in your 6th house. And I've mentioned how things can be changing in your 6th house, finalizing these changes. And with Mars and Uranus joining there is the possibility of really sudden, abrupt, aggressive change. And I think it can be helpful to try and take on the agency of a good way that this can happen, like a really sudden change for the better that you take on, instead of waiting for it to kind of hit you and something maybe that isn't as helpful or as proactive to take place. So keep that in mind, that there will be something changing for the better if you want to make it that way. On the 14th, Mars will then move into Taurus in your 7th house, and where Mars goes, it brings an ability to put more drive and aggression and assertion towards getting things done. It can also bring some frustrations or setbacks, particularly if you have a date chart. Now, it's in your 7th house of relationships, so you could want to get things done regarding who you want to go after with a relationship. It could also mean that there's difficulty in having some amiability in your relationships. It can manifest a few different ways, but Mars there definitely means there will be increased activity, and you may want to think about toning it down or keeping an eye out for coming on too strong in multiple different ways. On the 18th, Chiron will move into Aries, and Chiron is not a planet, it's an asteroid, but it's a long-term transit because it will be in Aries for you until 2027 in your 6th house of health and day-to-day routine. And Chiron can show us where we are wounded or where we've given our personal power away and we're now feeling hurt and vulnerable. And through healing those pains, we can then teach others how to do the same who have been in similar positions. So something to think about, maybe you've been wounded by health issues, you've given your power away to some type of healing system that no longer works for you, and you're learning from that, and you can then share that with others in the years to come. On the 18th, the sun moves into Pisces, and where the sun goes, it can illuminate as a focus for our life. So it's moving into your 5th house of creativity, romance, children, fun. Those things might just become more apparent during this season. On the 19th, there is a Virgo full moon in your 11th house, and full moons are times of culmination, of coming to fruition for whatever has been building up in the past 6 months in that area of our life. For you, this will be in your 11th house of large groups and friends and organizations. So maybe 6 months ago you started something new regarding larger groups you're a part of, and now there is a culmination and a completion to celebrate in that area of your life. Now this is also conjunct Neptune square Jupiter, so there's a possibility of deluding yourself and going over the top, and that means that you are bringing this to fruition. So just remain grounded and make sure you're dealing with the situation appropriately and not making it too dramatic or over the top. So this month is really highlighting the topics of self-care and relationships for you to develop and change up. So I hope this was helpful. I do private consultations at the link below. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you soon.